The voting of Ludum Dare 46 has just ended. And before the jam I defined a goal. I wanted to make something with a small scope so it could be released after 1 or 2 months. And now here we are. Based on the great feedback from friends and other devs, I expect some good results. I was so confident in the last few weeks that I even began planning new features, my schedule, and that in the end, how and where am I going to release the game. I also came up with a studio name under which I could release it, and created a mailing list for those who would like to know about new things earlier, like demos, closed testing phases, and sometimes I would even send some exclusive content. So if you're interested, subscribe on the link in the description, and thanks for your trust in me. Anyway, let's see the predictions and the results. Based on the feedback, it's a well-polished and fun-to-play challenging game, and I also feel that this is my most fun-to-play entry so far. Overall, it's a much better polished, all-around better game, so I would increase my last ones, but not so much because some of the players may have found it difficult. So let's say 80%. I don't really think that my last entry was fun to play, but it still got 64%. I'm confident about this game, so let's say 85%. My last game didn't really innovate on anything, this time it's a bit better, so I would say 65%. This entry fits the theme in a much clearer way than my games before. But it does it in a very basic way, so maybe it wouldn't increase my theme rating that much. Let's say 60%. Graphics-wise it's cohesive, but got some negative feedback. My last title got better feedback regarding its graphics, so let's say 60%. Audio was a bit rushed, but still okay in my first titles. In my last title I opted out, but I got it right. In this entry I think the main music is very catchy and the sound effects are juicy. Also it's easier to get a higher score with audio, because most of the games doesn't have any at all. So I would say 85%. And let's see humor. Well, in my first game there was a good, nailed comic vibe, so its rating is understandable. But my second title got nearly none, so who knows why it got 83%. The last one got a few funny Easter eggs, but for some reason it got an even worse score than my second one. Maybe players didn't even find them. This time I put only one joke in it, and most likely, most of the time, it wasn't even noticed. I saw only one streamer laugh at it. So let's say 40%. And finally, mood. Well, so far with my games, the mood is always good. It increased steadily, and the last one was in the nearly top 6%. This time the mood is light and relaxing, but doesn't really have depth or a wow feeling to it. So let's say 80%. And now let's see the results. This time I was a bit off with my predictions. It turns out that I was a bit pessimistic, or let's say a bit harsh in some categories. I got close to the results only in overall, audio and mood. And even these were a bit pessimistic, because I got around 4% more than I predicted. And now let's see the categories where I was really off. In graphics I got as much as with my previous game. I was 8% off. It's a bit surprising because last time I got more, let's say, praise for the graphics. In humor I got 16% more, as much as my previous entry. I don't really know how should I interpret this yet. And now the big guns. First, innovation. I was nearly 25% off. Maybe there aren't tons of games like this, as I've previously guessed it. And with theme, I was nearly 30% off. I thought that having this basic keep the plants alive idea would make my theme rating suffer. But it turns out that, after all, it wasn't that basic at all. And now only one thing remains. Fun. -8%. With this I was too optimistic. Most likely the difficulty of the game was an issue for more people than I thought. And for some people it could have been even more difficult due to some bugs I've discovered too late. But luckily this can be fixed easily with a better difficulty curve. And looking at the average rating of my entries with the theme rating excluded, I got nearly 15% more than my previous entry. During my earlier entries I got a bit better at everything, but mainly they were good in only 1 or 2 categories and mediocre in others. So if you look at the average, it was just a slight increase. It took me 3 Ludum Dares to finally make the jump and create an overall better polished game. I'm very happy with the results and I just hope that I haven't peaked yet. This entry clearly has some chance on becoming a bigger game, so I'm looking forward to working on it. I wonder how it will look in a month if this is the result of just 2 days. If you're interested as well, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, to my mailing list in the description, and if you'd like to chat, join my Discord server. Thanks for watching and see you next time.